ILTV reporter Steve Leibowitz is currently in London attending the International Luxembourg Forum on Preventing Nuclear Catastrophe. On the sidelines of the conference, Steve has just held a special interview with the former director of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Hans Blix. And Blix is warning of major danger if the new Trump administration cancels the Iran nuclear deal.
In Israel, there's kind of mixed feelings. During the campaign, we heard Donald Trump talking about the Iran deal being the worst deal ever, how it's going to be thrown away. Here in this conference, we're hearing voices of caution urging him not to. What would you advise President-elect Trump to do?
Well, I think he should be aware that the deal that was reached in Geneva and that was sanctioned and approved by the Security Council of the UN is an agreement and a settlement that the world has legitimized by the action of the Security Council. And that there are ways, if the US want to complain about something, there is a mechanism set up that could be treated, certain things. So we have heard minor complaints about Iran not producing and keeping a little more of heavy water than they should have had for a short while. I don't think it was a very significant thing, and I think they have corrected it since then. But I and this group here think that the agreement was a great achievement, and I also read that many of the Israeli security experts feel that it was rather good. And the opposition or skepticism come from political quarters in Israel and in the United States as well. So. What are the alternatives? The alternatives before this was agreed, there were many threats from the US and from Israel too. And if you start bombing, what happens? I mean, as Colin Powell said, if you break the pot, you own it. And I think that's something wise to retain. So I hope it will stay.
On a political level, do you think that Prime Minister Netanyahu can be influenced to urge caution from Trump moving forward?
I have not the slightest idea. I think he had difficult relations with Mr. Obama and better relations with Mr. Trump, but whether he wants to caution that, I don't know at all. I think most of the world would not want to see this agreement unravel. We have so many other things in the field of disarmament unraveling anyways, and we have enough problems on our plates.
Finally, I'd like to ask you this. Here in the conference, people are talking about the alleged Israeli nuclear arsenal. What do you think Israel's role should be in terms of preventing nuclear catastrophe?
Well, Israel has, we all believe, a substantial nuclear stockpile, and that has, I think, caused tremendous stress and disappointment in the Arab world, because Egypt and other countries, when they entered the non-proliferation treaty and committed themselves not to have nuclear weapons, they assumed at the time that Israel also would join. And so this underlies many of their resentments, and there have been years of trying to get a nuclear weapon-free zone, or nowadays a zone free of weapons of mass destruction, and it hasn't succeeded. And I'm not very optimistic that it will succeed, because now I think if I were an Israeli, I would probably say that the Iranian matter is largely settled. So why bother about this? And but in due course, if political relations in the area can be improved, the Israelis would probably agree with me. Once we have peace, then we can do it. And I think it would be desirable that Israel get rid of its nuclear weapons. Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us at ILTV.
Please.